Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. This was a video meant for yesterday, but I was incredibly busy and by the time I had time to cover it, couldn't really do so. So all of you have probably seen this by now. On Global Dokkan the other day, it was put into the news we were getting a Majin Buu Saga category summon. Like when any other banner drops and you get a category summon, not really a big deal. However, going into this celebration, everyone speculated, including myself, that this Fizz Kid Buu here could or may receive an EZA during this Golden Week celebration. It just made sense. Then, the global devs took this out the news. They removed this not too long after it was put in. It wasn't meant to be shown yet. They could have just made a mistake. Now, the reason why everyone believes this to almost kind of soft confirm, almost confirm that Fizz Kid Buu is receiving a Super EZA is because, number one, he was on the advertisement or he's a part of the artwork for the category summon that was then taken down. But again, it could just be this was put up too early and it's ahead of schedule. They took it down. Although, I think even if it was a little bit too early, I don't think it's that deep to remove this from the news just for a category summon if he wasn't. Second, we kind of saw it at the beginning of the celebration or going into the celebration where there was, for the Godstones and those kind of banner things, where it showed the EZA LR Buuhan, I think before we knew they were getting an EZA, and the same with the LR Strength Vegito, but the main one being Tech Ultimate Gohan, who we didn't know was getting an EZA almost like 2 weeks into the celebration, so this could be another one of those happening. Or, as I said, it could simply be this was put in the game in the news ahead of schedule, just shouldn't have been there, he's not actually getting a Super EZA. This is following the trend so far of each celebration that's come out has had a Super EZA in it, including JP receiving Tech SSJ3 Gotenks. Then it kind of points towards Fizz Kid Buu receiving one. Could happen, could not. I'm going to lean towards it happening just because I want to happen, or I want it to happen. So to kind of chuck my 2 cents in, I'm going to put in what I want to see Dokkan do to him if he does end up getting a Super EZA. So let me know down in the comments, do you think this was just a simple mistake, or do you think this soft confirms that Fizz Kid Buu will be Super EZAing in the celebration? Even if he doesn't, I personally want him to. It would tie the extreme Majin Buu Saga units together, especially while we wait for an LR Kid Buu. Still, not that I'm not happy with LR Ultimate Gohan, I did also want one of them, but still, we've wanted one for years. But also, he's just an amazing support anyway, and to bring him back into Dokkan all these years later would be sick. And of course, he would work well with all of the new Buu units and EZAs, and I just love using that team. So here we have his current EZA, which is pretty much an empty book. Just like how SSJ3 Goku started before he received an EZA, literally almost a clean slate for Dokkan to do whatever they want to do. Now, Dokkan did kind of follow a trend. I mean, before he even EZA'd, he literally had this, which was 100% attack for 7 turns. When he EZA'd, normally, before the Super EZA, why does that still say 8? I want 7. Okay, weird. I've somehow lost the number 7. Doesn't matter. But you saw that all he gained was pretty much just defense, right? I don't know why has that changed? That's so weird. But they kind of followed a similar trend, which was start turn attack and defense and key, which kind of every unit has. This was kind of an extra, and then so was this, and then they followed the whole trend of additional attack and defense for 5 turns, additional attack and defense for 7 turns, etc, etc. But my main point is they pretty much had a blank slate. I really don't know why 7 has disappeared, but they pretty much had a blank slate to do whatever they want. And the same applies to Kid Buu. Pre-EZA, he literally just supported all allies attack and defense with 50% when HP is 80% or more. When he EZA'd the first time round, he kept that, and that got bumped up to key +2 as well, but also gained all allies attack and defense plus 30% when HP is 79% or below. So here's what I would want to see, and I kind of want to see him stay an insane support that ties the Majin Power units or the Extreme Majin Buu Saga category units together. Now we know Super EZA's SAFX are not touched, so one thing he needs to get just the same as Goku, is start of turn attack and defense, whether that's ki +2, ki +3, attack and defense plus, I don't know, 120, 140, 150, 180. If you really want to go that far, 200%. But he needs some starter turn of attack and defense, 100%, and some ki to go with it. I think that's just a standard. This can pretty much stay the same. I mean, they could up the HP condition if they really wanted to, but I think 80% is fine, considering the BUU team has a ton of healing. And I'm going to follow that trend here as well. The only thing I would change is bump this up to ki +3. As much as I would love this to be updated, I think 50% is strong enough as it is, especially with what I'm going to add on to this. But by all means, Dokkan, if you want to improve that, improve that. I think this should go to ki +3. And then with the 79% or below, this should go to ki +1. If they don't touch the ki, I still think this condition should receive some ki. So this one remains as 2, and then this one goes up to ki +1 and attack and defense plus 30%. Then I want a third line of support, which is margin power category allies gain ki +1. Again, this is why they can keep this at ki +2. Gain ki +1, attack and defense plus, and by all means, Dokkan can choose whatever amount they want. They can be 10%, 20%, 30%. Remember, it will couple with this, so it doesn't need to be too high. Anywhere in those ranges, but ki +1, attack and defense plus 10, 20, or 30% for allies who belong to margin power category. And then you can stack that with this, where they also get attack and defense plus 50% and ki +2. So all in all, the support will either be ki +3, attack and defense plus 60, 70, or 80%. And then if his HP drops, then it will be ki +2 and attack and defense plus either 40, 50, or 60%. That's what I want to see to kind of tie those extreme margin BUU saga units together, or mainly just the BUU units. As I said, starter turn attack and defense and ki, I think it's just a standard. And I kind of want the type EZA treatment where they are, or where Kid BUU is going to be an out and out slot 3 unit, but is usable in the hardest content in the game. To an extent. I don't need him to tank every super attack for like double digits, but he is usable in the hardest content in the game while being the amazing support he's always been. So I want that coupled in. If they want to give him turn conditional guard, by all means go for it, or HP conditional guard, however I think that's too strong. So turn conditional guard, go for it. They could give him damage reduction. Maybe he could build some damage reduction up by being hit or attacking or super attacking. But I think the conditional guard makes a bit more sense. And maybe have it for like 4 or 5 turns from entry. And then give him some healing. I mean, a lot of BUU units do it anyway, so maybe have some starter turn healing of like 10, 15, 20%. Maybe give him some end of turn healing as well if he was hit, and then he could gain, I don't know, an additional 10% as well. Just so you're constantly kind of adding to that theme of BUU units, but also so you're always trying to keep your HP above 80% to maximize his support. And yeah, I mean, maybe... I mean, what else did the type supports also have? So ignoring all the fizz type key spheres and gaining attack and defense per key sphere obtained, because that's kind of their trend. Yeah, the main thing is guarding all attacks of 4 turns, which by all means give BUU that. Make it 5, make it 6. Maybe even squeeze in some damage reduction as well, just to make him even more usable. Also, he could end up supporting not only this BUU could also support him. But then also, you could support the new EZA BUU tanks that's just dropped as well, who's also Fizz, and that will also support Buhan as well. I just realized all of those units will benefit from not only Kid BUU support, but this guy's support now that the BUU units have had a bit of a buff. But I think for the most part, as I said, just make him usable, maybe give him some 4, 5 turn guard, give him some starter turn attack and defense and ki, and then just give him slightly updated support with ki. And then give margin power support as well to couple with that, kind of similarly to the AGL King Vegeta that came out with tech transforming Vegeta for Saiyan Day. And I think he's good to go. I said maybe some damage reduction in there as well. Do you know what I mean? I would like HP conditional guard, but that's way too strong. But if they want to do that, I mean, it is a super easy after all. They want to give him HP conditional guard, and he has guard all the time as long as your HP is at a certain point. I mean, with all the healing, that shouldn't be too difficult to do. By all means, Dokkan, do that. I would actually love to see that, because that would make him even better. But to make it a little bit toned down, maybe, as I said, 4 or 5 turns worth of guard, maybe a little bit damage reduction in there as well. Maybe if he picks up certain key spheres, he gets some extra attack and defense as well, because remember, these units don't have any SA effects. So maybe for like 7 turns, like Goku, get some extra attack and defense just to bulk him out. But the main thing I want to see, as I said, is an out-and-out slot 3 unit that provides amazing support that is usable in difficult content, similarly to the type supports. But that's just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments of what you want to see. I know this is a little bit late, but I thought I'd still cover it just to give my 2 cents. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care of the rest of your day, and peace.